Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Your girl is feeling on and popping with this light beat. Okay guys, we are ready. Hey babes, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Olivia J. If you guys are new, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay tuned on my newest videos, as well as, get familiar, check your girl out, see what you like, figure out, things you want to see from me. But this video today is specifically based on a request. So for those who don't know, I am a recent graduate from the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. 1897, what? I graduated from the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, also known as FAMU. And what am I doing with my life? How is FAMU? Things of that nature, and you guys have been asking, so I'm gonna go ahead and explain that today. I have a whole list, so I stay on topic because your girl can get off topic very quickly. But I'm just going to kind of give insight on FAMU. Overall insight on my experience at FAMU, what I would suggest to people, the pros and cons, for those who are in high school who are looking for insight into deciding where they want to go for the university. Stay tuned if this sounds like something that you are interested in. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to touch up on is my overall experience. I would say, honestly, if I had to rate 10 out of 10, I would give it 10. This is not sponsored, nobody paid me to say this, but overall I really genuinely had a great experience at FAMU. I networked and connected with so many people that I just know that I will be friends with for a lifetime. That includes students and also faculty and staff, because that's how well your girl connects. But yes, I have lifelong mentors, but ultimately something that really contributed to my experience being great is honestly being at FAMU has impacted my life in the sense that it has helped me discover my passion. And for those who don't know, you definitely need to check out my video as far as me explaining changing my major, what I originally thought when I first got here, things of that nature. But basically, I originally came there as a pharmacist while pursuing pharmacy. And after 1.5 years, I decided that I did not want to pursue pharmacy school anymore and wanted to go into nutrition. So my senior year, I changed my major and here I am now, a graduate. All in all, to say that FAMU is the right decision for me, and I believe that it could be the right decision for other people who are deciding what they want to do. Kind of insight, if you are a student who is looking, whether you're a high school student, college student, a grown adult, and you just want to get your degree, then I would definitely say FAMU is the #1 public HBCU in the nation. Just let that set in. Doesn't that speak volumes right there? Like, why wouldn't you want to go? Basically, the top programs that I have noticed just from my friends, or just seeing involvement on campus, or just hearing the things that they have done as far as after, like, post-grad, or just, the program in general and their achievements, I would definitely say Allied Health Sciences, which is the school that I graduated from. I got my Bachelor of Science in Health Science, which is kind of a broad spectrum of how science is applied, but I am going into grad school. That's a whole nother topic, but to stay on topic is the Allied Health Sciences, which includes like pre-physical therapy, pre-occupational therapy, cardiovascular, and I'm sure there are other programs that I don't know of. I was originally pre-PT, and then they opened up health science in general, so I just decided to get my degree in that. So that's under Allied Health Sciences. And then of course, the basics, journalism. Our J school that they call it is so amazing. It made me want to be a journalism major, but it is so competitive, y'all, that I was just like, that 2-second thought went down the drain. You have Allied Health, you have journalism, we have pharmacy, we have business, SBI is definitely well known. as well as our nursing program. This is a list based off of opinions on what I think are the best ones from basic, not research, but kind of like research. You could see it for yourself, honestly, guys. All of those programs are really good here. I came here for the pharmacy and it definitely was on the top 5 or top 3 list as far as HBCUs that are the best pharmacy schools out there. They also rank nationally. I just don't know what their number is as opposed to that, but they are, I believe, the #1 school to push out pharm students, well, pharmacists.
What? Bro, what are you talking about?
Whatever they call it, doctor of pharmacy, pharmacist, basically just pharmacists out in the nation that are of color. Okay, so yeah, their nursing program is competitive, as well as their business program is just, any business school I feel like is difficult, but theirs, they are to the T. When you see people walking around in suits all day, all night, you know that they are in SBI. So that's kind of a run through of some of the top programs that are here. As far as getting into the school in general, like FAMU, my process was a little bit different because I was a transfer student. I wasn't a freshman. I was ending my sophomore year, going into my junior year. So the criteria was a little different. I didn't have to, I don't think I had to submit my ACT score, no, because I think I had like over 60 credit hours. But basically you have a statement of purpose, or whatever they call it now, and then just the basics. All I know is that you had an essay, they had a registration fee, and basically I think your GPA has to be a 2.7. Don't quote me on that. I'm not quite sure what it has to be, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and they're pretty lenient on your circumstance. If you do have lower than that GPA, you just have to prove it a little bit more, as well as they have a lot of funding. I'm personally don't live in Florida, so I'm not a Florida resident. I was out of state, but they do have a lot of opportunities for Florida residents as far as scholarships, as well as out of state students. You get the out of state waiver, which is bomb. You just have to make sure that you apply for it, and you have to write like a little essay, but it's really not that bad for free money. Overall, the school is pretty manageable as far as application, as well as they do provide a nice amount of financial assistance and aid. Next up, we have the pros and cons. I'm looking on my list, so if I look down, it's because I want to make sure that I just hit every point, because this is kind of an informational video. So with that being said, I'm just gonna go with the pros first and then the cons, because actually, me personally, I felt that there was more pros than cons, but I guess it's based off of experience. But the first pro is definitely that they are always renovating at that school. If you have gone to an HBCU before, or you have heard just different stories about how they're old and historic and they just don't have the upkeep, they don't have good dorms or good buildings, yada yada yada, all that stuff. It depends on which HBCU you go to, because FAMU is always renovating. They're a state school, which means that they get funds from the state. It's not just a private institution where you are recycling the money through like alumni and also tuition from the students. So with that being said, they're constantly renovating their classrooms. They have, they're really up to date with like having MacBooks and new HPs in the library, as well as other academic buildings. They are also renovating around the campus. They tore down like 2 residence halls, and they're building 1 new one right now as we speak. And also I believe it's called an amphitheater or student center. I don't know what it is, but it is huge, y'all. And they started last year at the end of my junior year. No, the start of my senior year. Yeah, and they're still working on it. So shout out to the new students who are going there. They will probably see it. You guys will probably see it sometime this year, which is bomb. Maybe I'll check it out. Homecoming. But ultimately, those are just examples of them just renovating. They renovated the little like bottom calf where they had like all these different places. So they have tropical smoothie, and then they had like this sushi bar, and then they just have a whole bunch of stuff. Like I just don't even remember because honestly it was a lot, but just know that they renovate. Another point is that the professors are dedicated, not just the professors, but the faculty and staff in general as a whole. A lot of them are dedicated. Of course, you have like that handful that are just there because they're there, but for the most part, the professors are so dedicated. Most of them already are in some type of research. Currently, I was a science major, so I can only speak for them, but they're in like research studies. They're constantly innovating things. They're making publications. They just have such a huge resume and accolades that it really speaks volumes in how they teach, and they're willing to help you learn with their availability through their office hours, or some of them are mobile. You can just pop on by, or you can send them a text. Just sending the text, it's usually like a Google number that they have, and you know, they'll reach out that way. But overall, it is pretty awesome, honestly, in regards to needing help and also just getting the adequate type of help. Because there's a difference between needing help and getting the assistance and still not learning, and then needing the assistance and understanding the material more. So before that, I had stated I did make some lifelong connections. FAMU is known for their plethora of alumni from the school, basically. Alumni, I don't know. However you say it, there's a lot of them just spread all over. I know I went to South Florida to spend some time with family, and while I was talking and connecting when I was attending FAMU, they were just like, "You're at FAMU? I know, da 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 da," and I came from FAMU and all this stuff, and it just runs deep, y'all. Like, Rattler pride is real. So you will definitely have so many connections wherever you go. The job opportunity is, I wouldn't say easier, but it's more of you getting the chance of getting that job because there are Rattlers everywhere. So that's one perk about being at FAMU. And there's also celebrities that have definitely gone to FAMU, graduated from FAMU. And just to give y'all a little snippet, Common, because you know he is so fine and he's from Chicago, okay? And then we have, I think, what's her name? Was it Keisha Cole? I forgot her name. No, is it Keisha Cole? I have to check on that. But also, you know, Will Packer, and just a whole bunch of other names that I don't read. Oh, Rashawn Ali, y'all. I met her in person. She was amazing. That was like the highlight of my last semester senior year, and she is really as great as she is on camera. So yeah, that's just like a handful of people. I can't even think of all of the celebrities that have gone there, but just look it up and you'd be surprised at what celebrities have gone to FAMU. Anyways, your girl is rambling. Let's move forward to the next topic. So we have like the plethora of resources. Oh, there's always something to do at FAMU. So when people hear FAMU, they are just like, oh, that's a party school. Like, you need to make sure that you are careful, all of these things. Don't let your grades drop. Honestly, y'all, this is true, but I did not have that problem. It is definitely overwhelming and you just don't know which place to go. Not just like parties, but events that happen on campus or off campus. And you kind of just find your way as you get more associated with organizations and start mingling with people and joining. Did I say organizations already? Yeah, so joining organizations, talking, just being great, just opening your mouth and speaking, saying hello, and just having conversation, whether you're in the classroom, if you're walking, if you're trying to wait for some Chick-fil-A, because everybody and their mom be at Chick-fil-A like all the time, and just figuring out what's going on campus. There is so much to do, so it's never a dull moment. I remember just being on Instagram and just looking at people's stories, and I'm just like, that was happening today. This celebrity was on campus. I didn't even know. It's always so much to do. Don't underestimate it. So pick it wisely and remember what you're there for, which is school first, but it's always okay to, you know, balance it out and have a little fun. So I think that's all of the things that I wanted to cover. I know I might have been rambling a little, but as far as pros, those are some things that really I wanted to highlight on and that stood out to me. So now I'm going to go on the cons side. Cons is not to be negative about the institution, because clearly, if y'all don't know already, I love the school that I graduated from, so it's no issue. But it is just, you know, some insight on things where everything is not roses and daisies. So the first topic I want to touch up on in cons is it can be overwhelming at first. So you know that I had let you guys know that there's never a dull moment at FAMU, and there's always something to do, there's always a party going on, there's always an event, things of that nature. Well, when I first got there, I transferred at an interesting time, which is my junior year, so everybody was kind of clicked up and already had their go-to group, and people already knew each other from freshman year. And it was just really overwhelming, because when you went to events, everybody, which is of nature, just kind of went towards who they knew, and it was kind of like a celebrity type vibe as far as people who were known at FAMU, whether it was Miss FAMU or Mr. FAMU or the Alphas or the Kappas, all of that. Honestly, it was a popularity contest at once, but once you get past that and really just find your group, you're all good. But that's one con when you first get there, is just how overwhelming it is, because it really is an institution with 10,000 people, so you just gotta move through that. Another point I want to touch up on is administration. So I definitely said this in my previous video when I had spoke about the difference of me transferring from Hampton to FAMU and the pros and cons of that, but I will reiterate that administration can be slow. I feel like it was definitely slower at my old school, but at FAMU,
your urgency is not their urgency,
as my mom always tells me. So it definitely comes in handy when you know those connections and you have network with faculty members on campus, because it's all about who you know and not necessarily what you know, but what you know is also good too, as far as it can kind of be in your favor to help get things processed a little bit faster based on what it is and who the person is. I'm not saying that you need to be fake and just like, you know, be buddy with them, and then when you need something you need to use them. That is not what I'm saying. I'm talking about making genuine connections with adults, because first of all, a lot of students are disrespectful to the faculty and staff because they feel that, okay, well, I'm paying my money, you need to do this now, and it's just not proper etiquette, and it just frustrates me sometimes, and it contributes to why the staff or faculty may have attitudes towards the students, because the students are being rude to them. So I say all of that to basically keep in mind that they are people too, and they can only do so much, but they can still be slow. It's life, it happens. I think it's like an HBCU thing, but let's not make it a stereotype, but instead just find solutions to the problem. A last con, like I said, this list is pretty short as far as cons for me, is it is hot, like hot as hell down in Florida. This is not a FAMU issue, but in general, if you are not used to the South and the weather that comes with it, like your girl over here from Chicago, it is quite an adjustment. It took me about a year and some change to get used to the different climate, because when you're first going back to school in the fall semester, for those in the spring semester, you get kind of like nice weather in the 70s-ish. But in August, it's like 100 degrees or more on top of 92. That's really specific, 92%. But basically, I just remember that day when it was like 104 and 92%, and it was hot as hell. Like, your girl went to class and went back home. But basically, that is something that you have to adjust to as far as the climate. You are also in Tallahassee, also known as the capital of Florida, but also northern Florida. Like, Georgia's really like right there, like the border. So with that being said, you do kind of get climate that fluctuates. So it will be hot from like like August to November, and then it'll start cooling down. It does get chilly at night, like up here sometimes just like 30 degrees. I don't think I've reached 20 degrees in Florida before, but it does get cold at night, and then throughout the day it'll get warm. So that's how people kind of always get sick during that time. Basically, just be aware of climate, prepare for it adequately, make sure you're drinking lots of water even if you don't feel like you need it. As you're walking throughout the day, your body is just using energy and you don't want to pass out. And there's hella hills. FAMU is on the top hill of the hills, highest hill on the hill, however they say it, is there, and you will be walking on top of it. So make sure you stay hydrated. And so those are kind of the points that I wanted to touch up on in this video. Hopefully this was helpful and gave you some insight and made it a little bit easier for you to make the decision on which university you would like to attend. As far as post-grad life for me in general, it is still a transition. It is not easy. I wasn't one of those people who were about to graduate and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to graduate, like what's next? I was just like, oh man, this is happening, what am I supposed to be doing? So I'm currently in that transition now. I am thankful that I did have a job offer upon my graduation, so definitely working in that, but I am still working currently on applying to grad school because I do want to continue my education. So with that, I am working on GRE prep, applying for these grad schools, moving back in with my parents, which it has been a journey, but it hasn't been too bad. Just, you know, communication is key when it comes to that, and also renovating my room. But overall, I am just trying to figure out like most 20 somethings, and it's okay. It's okay to laugh, it's okay to cry, it's okay to be frustrated. I'm only 22, so I have a whole life ahead of me, and I look forward to taking you guys on that journey. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me to the end of this video. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye babes.